Hey, what's guys? This is your friend Captain Jarvis back with another smartphone overview, and this time around we are talking about the two new smartphones from the Sony. This is a Sony Xperia 10 Mark IV and a Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV. This both are in a different sector. 1 Mark IV is a kind of a most flagship from the Sony till today, and 10 Mark IV is a kind of a budget guy. We're gonna talk about each and everything. So without any further ado, let's get started. Let's start off with the budget guy, the Sony Xperia 10 Mark IV. This smartphone is kind of in a budget-based area. This guy is having OLED display, HDR10 supported, 6 inches, huge display. Talking about the operating system, then out of the box you are going to be having the Android 12, and there will be no bloatware or any type of schemed UI on the Sony's phone. If you have to talk about the processor, then you're going to get the Snapdragon 695 5G processor, and this is a 6nm based processor. And if you have to talk about the GPU, it is a Reno 619. Let's talk about the battery. You're going to getting is the 5000 mAh of polyethylene battery, and 30-watt power adapter is supported. And if you have to talk about the charging point, it is Type C, and this is Type C 3.1. We have to talk about the colors, and then this guy is having a lot of color options: black, white, lavender, and mint. To talk about the storage type and RAM and ROM, there is only one option: 6GB RAM with 128GB. And if you have to talk about the USB, not the USB, the speed of the storage, it is powered by UFS. Now, if you have to talk about the cameras, then you're going to get is a triple camera setup: 12 plus 8 plus 8. 8 and 8. 1.8 is of telephoto, f2.2 aperture, 2x optical zoom is there. Another 8 is a ultra wide sensor, f2.2 ultra wide sensor. And if you have to talk about the 12 megapixel, it's a wide sensor, OIS supported, f1.8 aperture. If you have to talk about the video recording, 1080p 30 fps. If you have to talk about the camera for the front side, then you're going to get the single camera setup: 8 megapixel, f2.2 aperture, wide sensor, 1080p 30 fps. If we have to talk about some of the basic things, this guy is having side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which is optical fingerprint scanner. If you have to talk about the 3.5mm headphone jack, yes, this phone got the headphone jack too. Now let's talk about the bigger guy, or you can say the flagship guy of this event: Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV. Now let's talk about the display. And if you have to talk about 6.5-inch display, it's a big display, OLED 120Hz 4K display. Now let's talk about the operating system, same Android 12. And if you have to talk about the Snapdragon, or you can say the processor, it is Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, 4nm based 5G processor, Adreno 730 is the GPU. If we have to talk about the colors, then you are going to get the 3 colors: black, violet, and white. Now let's talk about the storage and the RAM options. You are going to get is the 2 different options: 12 plus 256 and 12 plus 512 gig options. Now let's talk about the cameras. You're going to get is a triple camera setup with followed by a 0.3 megapixel 3D ToF sensor, which is for depth and imaging and that stuff. If you have to talk about a 12 megapixel sensor, it's a wide sensor, f1.7 OIS supported sensor. If you have to talk about the second camera, which is again a 12 megapixel f2.3 telephoto sensor, 5.2 optical zoom supported. Then also it is having a OIS, optical stabilization, which is a really nice thing. And if you have to talk about the third camera, it is 12 megapixel ultra wide f2.2 aperture. If you have to talk about the video recording, 4K 60 fps, no, 4K 120 fps is the max output you can get from it. 1080p 240 fps, it's the max output you can get. And if you have to talk about the video recording in depth, OIS is there, 5-axis gyro EIS and OIS is also there, which is really nice. Now let's talk about the camera for the front side. You're going to get is a 12 megapixel sensor, wide sensor, f2.0 measure. And if you have to talk about the video recording, 4K 30 fps, 1080p 30 fps. Also, it is having a 5-axis gyro EIS support. Basics, if you have to talk about those, you are going to get is the side mounted fingerprint scanner, Type-C 3.2, yeah, which is really nice. And also it is having a 3.5mm headphone jack. After a long time, Sony came up and brought two new smartphones to us. One is in a budget guy and another is a flagship guy. I like both the things common in between, which is a Type-C port and a headphone jack. This guy is having a Type-C 3.1 for the budget and 3.2 for the flagship guy, which is really nice thing. And both the guys are having headphone jack, which is again a really nice thing. You can get on the budget side, but over the flagship side it's hard to find a phone. Hard to, or you can say even you can't find a phone which got a headphone jack. And if you have to talk about the budget guy, one of the things which I like about this phone, its guy is having a lot of colors and I like that mint color a lot. It looks really nice because it is greenish, and that greenish is, it is not that kind of which hurts your eyes. Anyways, if you have to talk about the phones, as usual, complete order that the cameras have been upgraded, and it seems to be having upgraded because the lenses looks kind of a bigger in the frame as the older version was having. And if you have to talk about this phone's back side, or you can say the frame is made out of plastic. So yeah, it's a budget guy, so it is having a plastic frame. But one of the things which I like about this phone, it is having 5G, and it is a 5G phone in the budget sector, and it is having 695 5G processor. 695 is kind of say okay type of processor because of the 6 series, and 6 series doesn't mean so a lot of great demands out there, but still it's a good, really good processor. 6nm base, anyway, it is capable of doing a lot of things. And if you have to talk about the release date and the other stuff of this phone, it is expected that this phone is going to be announced in the summer, or not announced. This phone will be available for buying in the summer, or you can say the June, and most probably June is expected for the consumers. Now let's talk about the bigger guy. Kind of say I like the bigger guy more because this phone is kind of for me, because I don't like a phone which is hard to grab in the hands. I like the tall phones, and this guy is a tall phone. But tall phone being so, it's not like a broader in the size. It is comfortable in the hand. You should get one older devices. Sony makes that type of things on each and every current flagships. If you have to talk about the phones, it is as usual really good. I can't say anything about wrong about this phone because Sony makes a lot of good cameras, and cameras are the outstanding. Basically, I like the 4K, which is going up to the 120 fps. You might have seen 4K 60 fps, and yeah, that's all for a lot of kind of a flagship phones. But this guy's 4K is going up to 120 fps. I like that thing. 1080p 240 fps is kind of harder to find, but you can find that type of phones. But it is a really nice thing. And if you have to talk about the video recording, you're going to get is the gimbal OIS support. And what is gimbal OIS? You should get one of the gimbals for testing and give it again back to the company. Then you will get to know what is gimbal. Gimbal is a kind of a thing. If you shut around your hand, it will lock the image and won't be moving your hand. So it is kind of if you go around and do it practically yourself, then you're gonna be finding. OIS, don't need to explain that thing. Links up in the icon. Make sure you check it out. What is OIS? Optical image stabilization in short. And if you have to talk about the camera for the front side, even the front side got the gimbal gyro that I was things. So kind of like in the last, many people have scolded Sony that hey, what about the front camera? It's like that. So they added gyro on the front side. So anyways, it's a really nice thing that companies are looking a step to make sure the front cameras look really nice. And on the further things, I've seen a lot of reviews around and the boxes and all stuff. I kind of say those are the reviews you need for personal aspect. The phones boxes weren't having even the charger, even the cable, even the instruction. Only phone, that's all. I don't know about the retail units which gonna be shouldering out in the consumers, but what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if I do have to say so, if you are into the camera and that all stuff, then you can definitely grab this. For end the video, let's expect the pricing. Kind of say the Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV gonna be a flagship device, and it might even cross the Apple's flagship version of their phone, which is iPhone 13 Pro Max 1TB version. And there are many expectations that this smartphone is going to be priced at more than 2000, but my expectation are below $2000. Even I am thinking that it's going to be below $1800. What are your expectations? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you have to talk about the budget guy, it's going to be around 5000. No, that's a big market for a budget guy devices. $500 as per the expectations, and below $500 then it's going to be a kind of a good mid-range budget flagship killer device from Sony. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing a new flagship killer smartphone. Anyways, the region and launches, I kind of say it is expected to launch in India. No, there are very few chances. But in USA, it's gonna be launching, but it gonna be only having one color, black, for the flagship. I don't know about that budget guy, but budget guy will be available in Japan commercially for each and everyone, and that flagship device is gonna be available because Japan rules over the Sony rules over the Japan. Yeah. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about the smartphone? Let me know in the comment section down below. Is Sony back in the market? Let us know in the comment section down below. Well, this was Captain DRS. You are watching Cameras and DRS, and for more content like this, press the bell icon so you won't be missing. Liking, sharing, and subscribing. Gonna be appreciating our work. I'll catch you in the next video. Stay safe, stay connected. Peace out.